I really wanted to make a video about the 30-second teaser of Hololive Alternative, but then I decided, nah, if this is a teaser, then a full version would be coming soon, right? Right? But alas, after 3 months of waiting, it is finally here. Here are my thoughts and the things that I found interesting on the Hololive Alternative teaser promotional video. A world of our fiction awaits. Ooh boy, there's a lot to unpack even with just these first few seconds. First of all, Kalayope Mori, Kalayope, sings Dawn Blue to the utmost perfection. Although the PV only showcased the Holo JP girls, we are treated to the presence of our resident tsundere dad. For me, this just shows how much Holo EN has come in 1, 2, 3, 4, just 8 months? I feel like they've been here forever. Coming a long way ever since their debut. Seeing Sora-chan at the rooftop of, on what I assume, the Hololive office, looking around the barren, seemingly lifeless neighborhood, it painted this dread that I just can't put my finger on, but it felt so familiar to me. And just as I was wondering what it was, I see and hear these words. Are you receiving this transmission? Have you ever wanted to visit a place that's a world apart? And the lyrics translated to English, of course. Go forth and seize this shooting star. A world of our fiction awaits. Call me a crybaby, but it made me suddenly tear up for some reason. I don't know if my mind is just so morbidly accustomed to thinking the worst case scenario, but when I read between the lines of the lyrics and the text on the screen, here's what I thought. Go forth and seize this shooting star. Along with the backdrop and the atmosphere of the video, this painted a picture of someone alone. Someone that is wishing for something to happen. A wish that might never have been granted. But may it be fate or luck, her wishes were answered. Are you receiving this transmission? Have you ever wanted to visit a place that's a world apart? Rather than granting the wish, what presented was an invitation, born from wanting to find more people, not wanting to be alone. It may be a little self-serving, but I think that it is a world that they wanted. This establishing shot, we see the ice sword outside the walls of what I assume to be Pekoland. The ice or crystal sword is probably made by magic. It might be Lami's magic, or just a structure in that world. Now we see an establishing shot of some Japanese structures. A gigantic kitsune statue looking a lot like protectors, and a Shiminawa tying the two towering structures, seemingly implying a yashiro or a sacred place beyond that point. The gigantic sakura tree is also implied as a yorishiro, with the yashiro encompassing it. Then we see the Vegas-like city where they worship the Grim Reaper, probably implying that you will figuratively die within the city. Quite morbid, but it looks cool though. And then we see the port side of an island, a peninsula or just a port town for trade. It's too clean to be a pirate then, and also too open to be a military naval base, as it clearly has civilian-looking houses around the area. Now we see a celestial-like area where celestial beings maybe are living in or descends to. It probably has an authoritarian-like structure, having the one with the giant halo as the main hub, or a place just like a synagogue. And now we see Fubo-chan. Looking at, from what I can see, is a past or future rendition of the old Japanese town earlier. It might be a completely different area where the other worlds collide, or just a sacred place on which she is also protecting. We are treated to the silhouettes of Yakuza, Gorilla, Boing Russia, Horny Sencho, UV, Jelly-filled Donut, Surprisingly Seiso, Mamma Mio, Neko-chan, D, Elite, Soda, High-Spec Robot, God, Kusugaki, Ojo! Bakwa, The War Criminal, Ara Ara Dancho, and Ike Man. All the while listening to our tsundere dad. I said what I said, no takebacks. Future self here. I suddenly went full degen here. You will hear me do this from time to time. Nangka gamen ne. Matsuri! She's so cute, she's so cute. Oh, the bread on her mouth scene, what the heck? Oh, chikuku. This scene where she is jogging in place really reminds us that she is quite athletic. Those thighs though. Oh, seeing her fully animated head to toe is so really beautiful. She even has her favorite tempura as her flag charm, and the Ebifion is a freaking badge. That close-up was also superb. Whoever made the animation for this part knows what he or she was doing, and quite probably someone who is also a shrimp. And then the contender for the perfect couple in the next scene. The diabetes is going to kill me. Look at that! That hug attack from Carden to Okayan. Okayu even forgot the onigiri that she was holding, showing just how much Koren matters more than her favorite snacks. Although you can see that Matsuri, Korone, and Okayu's world is just like ours, probably a world without magic, a reflection of the crystal sword is seen on the window of the coffee shop. The anchor from the world which Sencho resides in is also seen reflected on the waters of the river. We now see our off-brand protagonist in her full glory. Just my theory. It would be pretty interesting if Aqua-chan was a maid of Sencho's estate, given that both of them are in some kind of port town. And here's what's interesting. That the cape within the reflection of the window that Aqua wiped has quite the resemblance with Sencho's background when the camera panned around her. The war criminal doing her first heist? A mad lad made a post in r/Hololive calculating the total weight of all the carriage that she was dragging along. Check it out, it's quite interesting. Now we see a teary-eyed Kanatan falling towards the earth. She is an angel slash celestial being. Although she does not look like she is one of the fallen, she might have been banished from where she resided, or she went and ran away from home. As for the reason of that happening, that I don't know. Let me just take this time to praise the lyrics of Don Blue. Calliope Mori, who we all know as our Tsuntun dad, co-wrote it with Bonjour Suzuki. For those who do not know of Bonjour Suzuki, you might want to search her on YouTube. She's a singer-songwriter that has, for the lack of a better word, a unique style in each of her videos. I highly recommend that you check her out. Links in the description. I felt like something amiss in my normal life, but I always pretend not to notice. I couldn't put forth even an ounce of courage, so I dreamily drifted through space. We already had our intro of the song, so now we are going through the reason of being. Being unable to express yourself resulting in you hiding the true you. Does this signify what the girls were feeling before joining Hololive? It might be the overdramatic part of my brain talking, but that's what I can guess with these lyrics. Elite Idol Miko on the stage within the Las Vegas-like world. She's underneath a digital sakura tree, which looks a lot like the side of the towering tree within the Japanese-styled world earlier. Then Rushia dancing with these glowing butterflies within the greenhouse, which I can only think of as spirits. The symbolism of putting the moon within a cage is closely related to the painting named Papilla Estelar, which translates to Star Maker, made by Remedios Varo. Quote, the small space and cage moon creates a sense of being trapped and isolated. Perhaps a reflection of how Varo felt in Mexico, isolated from her homeland. However, the milled star stuff represents hope, and the action of feeding it to the moon is an attempt to transform hope into an opportunity. The painting reminds the viewer of the hope that comes out of trials, and the light comes from within, and that it is the viewer's job to harness it. Moreover, although I can see Rusha smiling, I can't seem to stop seeing a somewhat strained smile, though it might just be my imagination. Seisa Sensei chilling within her study and you can see Rusha with her. Seeing Roboco within her world, who might be the last sentient being, makes me want to just dive in and give her a big hug. Hmm, maybe I'm the one who needs a big hug. Fubuki holding a bowl of ramen, while Mio being Mama Mio, looking at Fubuki with warm eyes that is saying, what am I going to do with you? From what I can see, they are sitting at a pagoda at the right side of the temple. And then a ray of light showed up, leading to the sexiest version of Ayame-chan as of yet, as Mio and Fubuki readies for battle. This is probably the start of the converging of worlds. I'll raise my eyes to the night sky and wish upon that star. I hope I never want to give up on the dream I hold so dear. We already have a reason for their being. Now they are given a way to express this. And then there's Coco. Our Oppai dragon has so much Josei power that even her dragon form has visible memories, even though she is clearly a reptile. Her horns are not floating on her head. She still has her side ahoge even in her dragon form, and her neck jewelry shrinks and grows to conform to her body type. And then we see Noel, Flair, and Shion ready to battle Coco. Starting off with Kusugaki's Kusuga kick that missed. Flair firing an arrow that got swatted by Coco's tail, which is then swung directly towards Flair, then Dancho comes to the rescue. And we all know how she yeeted Kaicho up. That strength is definitely from all the gyudon that she eats. And then we see Coco firing her breath. Seeing Ayame-chan using Nitoryu with a wakizashi or a chisa katana is magnifique. Fubuki-chan using a two-handed sword style with a katana looks so strong, while Miyomama using hand-to-hand combat tag teaming with Fubuki, all the while closing her eyes just before she attacks, which is so Miyomama-like. Even though it's an intense battle, Ayame Ojo, Fubuki-chan, and Miyomama are all smiling, probably sensing that they are all confused as each other. And then Ayame might have decided to play a little prank using her stand, taunting Fubu-chan and Miyomama. But hey, we are granted the privilege to witness Ojo's sadistic smile and Fubuki and Mio's desperate expressions. The next scene is showing a pillar of light, probably indicating the proper convergence of worlds. So I'll begin this journey. Chase after that shooting star. as we move forward to a brand new story, hoping that someday it will bring us to the world that we dreamed of. Now we get to witness their determination, their will to see their convictions through. Although a bit disappointing that it is not Yago, now we have a confirmed name of the god that made this happen. Courtesy of Matsuri-chan's smartphone. That name is Mithra. Mithra is a Persian god of the rising sun, contracts, covenants, and friendships, which perfectly encapsulates Hololive. And then we are treated with some beautiful stills before the end. Enemies yesterday, friends today. After their fight, Kaicha in her human form, Flair and Noel came to see Kanatan, who is now sleeping peacefully under the shade of a tree. She probably went straight down to the center of the circle town. A minor detail, but Kanatan has many leaves on her body, indicating that she has probably been there for a while. We get to see 3 sets of Boing Boing and a plane. Elite Miko and the war criminal are within the casino grounds splurging their money. Gotcha! Rusha is intrigued by the Ero aura radiating from Choco Sensei. The skeleton behind her might have been the skeleton that was behind Choco Sensei earlier, and Choco Sensei tending to Shion that missed her Kosoga kick. Ayame and Fubuki being rowdy inside an izakaya, while Mio is being troubled by their behavior. Perfect! Now we see Sora-chan, with her wish being granted. She's probably within Roboko-chan's area, as the building on the right that is covered in vegetation is prominent with Roboko-chan's world. She then faces the camera and smiles beautifully, revealing the new world that she is now in. Although I think this video has already overstayed its welcome, I would like to use this opportunity to praise and congratulate the ones that were involved in making this masterpiece. And for a job well done. I really thought that I would gush so much about the animation quality of this promotional video the first time I watched it, but I have concluded that I don't need to do that, as we all unanimously agree that it is God tier. Given the talents that went to this project, it comes with no surprise that this became an immediate favorite to many of us. Well, I didn't think you'd get this far. Thank you for listening to the ramblings of some degenerate.